Imagine being offered a $50 million deal and laughing it off. That's exactly what Blockbuster did. Big mistake. This is the story of how Netflix went from mailing DVDs to changing the way the world watches TV, and how Blockbuster missed its chance to stay alive. Blockbuster was a giant. Over 9,000 stores, millions of loyal customers, and billions in revenue every year. Friday nights? That was Blockbuster night. Families lined up to grab the latest VHS tapes and video games. It was more than a rental store, it was part of American culture. But in 1997, something tiny was born. A company with no stores, no foot traffic, just a crazy idea. Mail DVDs to people. That company was Netflix. Most people laughed it off, even Blockbuster's CEO. But this little mail-order startup, it had a vision, and it was coming for the king. At first, Blockbuster didn't even consider Netflix a threat. They were the kings. Who cared about a tiny mail-order DVD service? But Netflix had something Blockbuster didn't, a different way of thinking. Instead of charging late fees, the thing customers hated most, Netflix offered monthly subscriptions, unlimited rentals, no due dates, no late fees, just movies delivered to your door. While Blockbuster made billions punishing customers for being late, Netflix was building loyalty. Then came the big moment. In the year 2000, Netflix CEO Reed Hastings walked into Blockbuster's office with an offer: buy Netflix for $50 million. Blockbuster laughed. To them, Netflix was a joke, a bug, not a competitor. But that bug was about to evolve. In the year 2000, Netflix was struggling. They weren't profitable. They were burning cash. So they did the unthinkable. They walked into Blockbuster's office with an offer: buy us. $50 million, and Netflix would become Blockbuster's online arm. They laughed, literally. One executive later said, "We thought it was a joke. Netflix was a niche company. They didn't even have stores." That moment changed everything, because Netflix walked out of that meeting humiliated, but determined. They knew the internet was the future, and Blockbuster, they'd just bet everything on the past. In hindsight, $50 million was a steal, but pride made them blind, and that decision, that one laugh, cost them $6 billion. Netflix didn't waste time. Just a few years after Blockbuster laughed them out of the room, Netflix launched streaming. No more DVDs, no more waiting. With one click, you were watching movies from your couch. It was fast, cheap, addictive. And guess what Blockbuster did? Nothing. They still believed customers loved walking into stores. In 2007, Netflix offered thousands of titles online. By 2010, it was the go-to place for watching TV shows, while Blockbuster was still charging late fees. But here's the craziest part. Blockbuster actually tried to launch streaming. In 2004, they had the tech. In 2006, they had the subscribers. But the leadership was terrified. Streaming would kill their store revenue. They were too scared to disrupt themselves. Netflix? They embraced the future. Blockbuster? They clung to the past. And then, the 2008 financial crisis hit. Blockbuster was drowning in debt. Stores closed, profits vanished. By 2010, they filed for bankruptcy. Netflix, they exploded. They weren't just surviving, they were thriving. Blockbuster went from 9,000 store to just one. That's right, one single store in the entire world. It wasn't the internet that killed Blockbuster. It was ego. It was fear. It was a refusal to change. Netflix didn't just survive, it reinvented entertainment. In 2013, they made a move no one expected. They started making their own shows. And the first one? House of Cards. People didn't just like it, they binged it. They couldn't stop. And that's when Hollywood realized Netflix wasn't a tech company anymore. It was a studio, a global one. While cable TV was stuck airing one episode a week, Netflix dropped the entire season in one go. Viewers felt powerful. For the first time, they were in control. Soon came Orange is the New Black, Narcos, Stranger Things, blockbusters, straight to your screen, no ads, no schedules, no limits. And while Netflix grew, others started to fall. HBO, Disney, Amazon, all rushed to catch up. But Netflix had already won hearts, not with money, with freedom. By 2020, they had over 200 million subscribers in nearly every country on Earth, from DVDs to streaming to changing how we watch. Blockbuster? A memory, a punchline, a symbol of what happens when you ignore the future. Netflix didn't kill Blockbuster. Blockbuster killed itself. Netflix just showed the world what came next. The fall of Blockbuster wasn't just a business failure, it was a warning, a lesson about ego, comfort, and denial. Blockbuster had everything: money, market share, brand power. But they laughed at change. They laughed at Netflix. While Netflix obsessed over the future, Blockbuster clung to the past. And this is what happens when you stop innovating, when you think you're too big to fail, when you ignore the whispers of change until they become a scream. By the time Blockbuster woke up, it was already dead. And Netflix, they never stopped moving, never stopped adapting. They went from mailing DVDs to streaming to creating the culture itself. Success is never permanent. Comfort is a trap. Every giant can fall, but every underdog can rise. Netflix didn't win because they were lucky. They won because they moved, fast, smart, fearless. And Blockbuster, they lost because they paused, they hesitated, they laughed when they should have listened. So the next time you think an idea is too small or a competitor is no threat, remember this: the giants of today can become the ghosts of tomorrow, and the crazy ideas of today might just become the new normal. Netflix didn't just kill Blockbuster, they buried the old world and built a new one.